Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, here back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to the truth about ring culture. Hold on, real quick. Hold up, real quick. Hold on. All right, we back. All right, so I wanted to make this video real quick on the whole basketball discourse. I don't really get involved in this shit. Like I said, bro, I don't like getting involved with this shit, but when shit get too egregious, my guy, we you gotta regulate sometimes. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas one time, man. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the Kobe Bryant disrespect. I don't see any disrespect from the perspective of Tracy McGrady. I don't see any Kobe disrespect for Tracy McGrady because he never said that. He never said that Kobe was trash or was second fiddle to him, or you know what I'm saying. He always said, "Hey, I'm just on that level with him." Now, for me personally, growing up, I was not a big Kobe Bryant fan. I didn't really start giving Kobe Bryant his respect until he won that fifth ring, and that's when I started giving Kobe his respect when he won that fifth ring. Yeah, so it's always been some level of respect because I ain't gonna sit up here and act like Kobe wasn't like him. I'll never sit up here and say Kobe wasn't him. Kobe was that nigga, bro. I seen that nigga, man. That nigga put up 81. When I saw that nigga put up 81, I said, "Ain't no fucking way, you lying." I wasn't one of them people saying, "Oh, that's because he a ball hog. He don't like to pass the ball." I wasn't one of them people. I was like, "That's impressive." You know what I'm saying? The shit that Kobe was doing, I enjoy when niggas go off for like 50, 40. I enjoy when niggas go off for like 50, 60, 70, 80 a game, bro. I enjoy that type of shit, bro. I fucks with it when you go off for like, have a big night where you just go off for 60, bro. If you putting up like 60, bro. If you putting up 60 and your team put up 120, you just score half the team points. You him. I can't hate on you for that. You put that work in. But I've always, like I said, Allen Iverson will always be my GOAT. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we're talking about the greatest players of all time, in my personal opinion, Allen Iverson is the GOAT. I don't care. Fuck the rings. I'm not big on ring culture either. I don't think ring culture really like me. I'm not gonna sit up here and say it doesn't mean anything because it does. It does have a lot to do with the success of the player. But for me, on a personal level, the reason why I choose Allen Iverson as my GOAT, why I say he the greatest NBA player to ever fucking do this shit, it's deeper than basketball. Like, fuck the basketball. Put the basketball to the side. It's deeper than that. That's why he my GOAT. It's deeper than basketball. Um, yeah. So I'm not. And growing up, Tracy McGrady was my guy. I'm not even gonna hold you. Tracy McGrady was my guy for the longest. I never, I never really fucked with nobody outside of my top three for the longest was Shaq, Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady. That was like my top three for the longest. And then along came Dwayne Wade, Carmelo, Brandon Roy, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. Um, yeah, my 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 top three always been, my top three is different from y'all top three. So y'all go with the consensus. I go with who I feel like is the best. I feel like the GOAT conversation is biased. It's gonna always be biased. Like I said, everybody gonna say Jordan, LeBron, Kobe. I'm gonna say Allen Iverson, and have everybody looking at me crazy. Talk about some, bro. Get out this conversation, bro. Get out this conversation. You don't know what you're talking about. I was like, I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just you don't understand, bro. You don't understand. But I digress. I don't, like I said, I don't really see a problem with what Tracy McGrady said. Now Dwayne Wade, on the other hand, My brother, my brother, my brother. That bullshit you said Pau Gasol should have been the Finals MVP over Kobe because he had one bad game and he was dominating that entire series. See, I try so hard to defend Dwayne Wade, but I can't, bro. Dwayne Wade, I just got one question for you.
Why are you gay?
But anyways, though, without further ado, let's get right into this. Oh man, bitch, play.
Alright, so today we're doing something a little bit different because I don't know what's in the water amongst the NBA media and amongst former NBA players, but it feels like everybody is making super wild comments lately. It's been really hilarious to see my fellow old head basketball channels freaking out covering all of this. And honestly, I've been meaning to too. Tracy McGrady's been making crazy comments, Gilbert Arenas said some crazy stuff, LeBron said some stuff, Dwayne Wade said some stuff, and so on. The thing is, I typically make scripted, edited videos that take a lot of time, so it's just really happening too fast to cover each and every one in a video. So instead, I've decided to do something different today. And basically, we're gonna watch all of these comments together, and then I'm gonna react to it after I listen to it. That way, you'll get my most genuine and raw reaction, but that also means we can cover a lot in a short amount of time. This video is probably going to get copyrighted, but every once in a while that's alright. At least I'll be able to give you guys my thoughts on all of these matters.
A ring is a team accomplishment.
Right.
I don't know where it started. It's just it's a long conversation, especially when it comes to.
See, this is the problem I have with LeBron. He keep trying to move the goalpost, bro, to make himself seem like he better than everybody, bro. It's like no matter what you do, if you would just let your I state this so many fucking times when it comes to LeBron. If you just let your game do the talking and you just stop letting the people get into your head, you would have a very decorated career. Yes, there's gonna be some people out there that's gonna say, man, that nigga ain't better than fucking Jordan. That nigga ain't better than Kobe. That nigga ain't better than Allen Iverson. I'm one of them people saying that. Nigga ain't better than Allen Iverson. Fuck out of here. But every time this man moves the goalposts, it just makes you look so corny, bro. Like it make you look corny, and it just hurts your career even more. I don't get how you have so many accolades to your name. So many. You have 4 championships. Some of the greatest players could barely get one, or couldn't even get one. I don't get how one man is this insecure about such a successful career. I don't get it. You have 4 NBA championships, right? You came back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals to cement your legacy in basketball history. You are a first ballot Hall of Famer. You have the most points in NBA history. What fucking more do you want? You're not getting another ring. That's out the question. Even with Luka, y'all still not getting the ring unless y'all can resummon unless you can resummon unless you could 3D print a 2001 prime Shaq and Kobe, you ain't getting no 5th ring, my nigga. It's not happening. Not with what's going on out there in the West. I don't see y'all beating OKC. Even with Luka, you will never y'all not beating OKC. It's not happening. Y'all can't even get past the fucking Minnesota Timberwolves. Y'all let Rudy Gobert eliminate y'all. Trash. But we can get better though. No, you can't. The West got better. Not y'all, the West. Yes, y'all got Luka, but the West got extremely better. This old fart right here don't play defense. And he's slowing down so much. I see it every time I see him watch him play. He's slowed down so much. He's not as active. He barely moves anymore. The man don't cut. The man don't set screens. The man just sit there, wait for him to get the ball, and then he just dribble it until he decide to do something with it. He is not happy with his career for some odd reason. You have all the accolades in the world, and you're not happy about your career. Make it make sense, bro. You have all these fucking accolades to your name. You played with your son. What more do you need? Just retire, bro. It's okay. You had a good career, bro. People, you got your fans. They gonna love, adore, and dick ride the fuck out of you. They gonna defend you to the moon. They gonna say you the greatest player that ever fucking existed. And that's fine. But my nigga, when you do stupid shit like this, like you keep moving the goalposts. Like I remember one time you said Miami didn't make me better. I never needed Miami to make my career better. Yes, the fuck you did. Nigga, Shane Battier exposed you. Unintentionally. He unintentionally exposed you. Shane Battier did, I forgot who he did a sit down with. But he sat down and he looked at, and when he joined the Miami Heat, he noticed that LeBron didn't know how to read defenses. You didn't know how to read defenses until Shane Battier taught you how to read defense. You didn't know how to read a zone. That's why that's why Jason Terry and the Dallas Mavericks was busting your ass. That's why you only scored 4 points in the fourth quarter. You didn't know how to read defenses, bro. Stop it. Stop the cap, bro. Stop it. Don't discredit that team that helps you get your first 2 rings. Stop it. But you know what, though? It is what it is. This man just keep moving the goalposts every time. I never needed Miami. I don't know why people keep saying that like Miami would make me. Miami did help you, bro. You didn't know how to read defenses, bro. That's why you kept getting locked up, bro. You kept getting exposed. You got exposed by the Boston Celtics the year before, and then you got exposed by the Dallas Mavericks the year after. If Shane Battier would have never joined the Miami Heat, y'all would have probably lost to the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Kevin Durant might probably have a ring right now. Dog, you couldn't read defenses, bro. And it showed. You made terrible decisions. And now you moving the goalposts again with this whole, man, the rings don't even matter. But you said you was chasing a ghost from Chicago. A ghost from Chicago who went undefeated in the finals, who got 6 rings. Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense, bro. You not happy with your career for some odd reason, and you got all these accolades to your name. How are you not happy with your career and how it's gone so far? As far as I'm concerned, you got the hell of a career, bro. It's time to retire for real. There's nothing left to prove. You not winning a ring. At this point, you just playing for extra credit, bro, that you don't need. You want people to I feel like this man won't retire till everybody in unison says that he is the greatest player that ever played this game. And then he can finally retire with that ego. His ego won't let him retire. Now, with all these Achilles popping out, don't be surprised if LeBron next. Don't be surprised if LeBron is next on that Achilles list. I'm telling y'all, bro. This man just keep going and there's no purpose, bro. Stop trying to move the goalposts. Stop trying to change the narrative. No, you have to win. That's what separates. For the main thing of it is, yes, you do have to win. But some people can be objective. That's what I was saying, bro. The GOAT case is the most biased opinion, a debate of all time. Who is the true GOAT of basketball? It's biased as fuck. Everybody gonna be biased. That's why I said people gonna say Kobe, people gonna say LeBron, people gonna say Jordan. I say Allen Iverson. It's a biased ass question, bro. You letting the most biased ass question in the world really ruin this man's ego is just out of control. This man really is not happy with how his career has gone. Everything you've done, and you're not happy with your career. That is sad, bro. You are pathetic. I'm just gonna say it right now, LeBron, you are pathetic as a human being, bro. As a human being, as a man, LeBron, you are pathetic, bro. Cause ain't no fucking way. If I achieved all that I can achieve, and people say I was still at the top of my game when I left, while I'm still good, I'm gonna leave on top. Fuck it. Dwayne Wade, think about it, bro. Chris Bosh in the Hall of Fame. Dwayne Wade in the Hall of Fame. Carmelo's in the Hall of Fame. Dwight Howard, who got drafted the year after LeBron, is now entering the Hall of Fame. Nigga, retire. For the love of God, please. Stop playing, bro. You played with Bronny. He ass. We don't care no more. Sit down. Let Luka run the Lakers, bro. They don't need you no more. You not the guy no more. Please. You are not happy with your career, bro, and it shows. And that's a damn shame. But anyways, though, back to this video.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
me individually. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport. You tell me, you know, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, you know, our wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody in this world is saying that these guys are not one of the best players. They on the top 75 list. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that these guys are not great. I'm sitting up here telling you right now, I think Allen Iverson is a better player than you ever will be. Or ever could be. That should let you know right there, bro. What are you talking about? Jesus Christ, bro. I can't stand this nigga, bro. Retire, bro. Just retire.
With these guys is because this guy won one ring or won two rings or won, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has one ring.
Bro, nobody says that, bro. What are you talking about, bro? You are not a football player. Shut up.
Barry Bonds never won a World Series, and you can't sit here and tell me that he's not the greatest baseball player to ever touch a bat.
Alright, so we just listened to LeBron's thoughts, and let me start this off by saying that I don't completely disagree with him, but I also don't completely agree with him. Yes, rings are not the be-all, end-all, because at the end of the day, like he said, it is a team accomplishment, and how each individual player performs really matters. For example, Jerry West was 1-8 in the NBA Finals, but he was called Mr. Clutch for a reason, and the reason is because when the playoffs came around, he individually did his job. He was almost always performing his best when it mattered the most. The problem is that the Celtics were just so stacked overall that he could average 37 points over the course of a finals series and be named the finals MVP while losing that series, just because championships are not a one-man job. So I get it, there's nuance to this. But I don't get the vibe that that's what LeBron is saying. He makes it sound like rings shouldn't be a part of the equation at all. And that to me is wild and flat out ridiculous. First off, it's also a contradiction to what LeBron has said in the past. Because remember, he called himself the GOAT specifically because he won the championship in 2016 over the Golden State Warriors. So unless he's changed his mind since then, he's contradicting his own stance in this instance. Listen, at the beginning of the year, before the opening tip has even happened, everybody is focused on winning an NBA championship. The players, the coaches, the executives, the fans, that's what everyone wants. That's the goal that everyone is pushing for. So to act like this should have no value in how we grade players is flat out ridiculous. Because yes, it is a team accomplishment. But since we're looking at LeBron, let's use LeBron as an example. In the 2011 NBA Finals, LeBron would have won the championship over the Dallas Mavericks if he didn't average 17 points per game over that series. This is the biggest reason why I personally see Michael Jordan as the greatest player of all time. It's not just because he was 6-0 in the NBA Finals, it was because of how he performed in those 6 finals appearances. He was almost breaking records every single time he made it to the finals. Yes, it is a team accomplishment, but how you, as the leader, as the superstar, perform when it matters the most can determine whether or not your team wins a championship. So to act like that,
Bingo. That's why it matters, bruh. That's why rings matter, bruh. Like, say what you want. Yeah, Allen Iverson didn't win the ring, but he beat a team that was undefeated. He won a game against us. He made an undefeated team defeated. He was the only person to defeat an undefeated team. Think about that. Think about that. The Lakers swept every team they came across. It wasn't until they got to the 76ers in the finals and Allen Iverson put on probably one of his best fucking performances of all time that truly made him a Hall of Famer, that cemented his entire career. So let's stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Had he won a ring, would that have changed the trajectory of his career completely? Absolutely. Absolutely. But he showed up. He did the best he could with little to no help. And even though he don't got a ring, he put his heart and soul into that shit every game. The littlest dude on the floor, taking hits from the biggest niggas in the world. He had to run into the lane and get knocked down by Shaq so many times, bruh. But he still got up. You, my friend, the 2011 finals, you were terrible. The 2015 finals, I give you that one. You did your best. Now the 2014 finals against Spurs, oh no, they tapped that. Oh no, the Spurs tapped that ass. Ain't no debate about it. The Spurs tapped that ass. Pause. No diddy. But the Spurs tapped that ass in that 2014 finals and the 2007 finals. The 2007 finals and the 2014 finals, 7 years apart. They put belt to ass on you. Everybody tried to bring up, but LeBron did good in that series. LeBron put up 27 points on 33% shooting. You know how terrible that fucking is? 33%? Fuck out of here, bro. That man couldn't do nothing. They turned that man into a jump shooter. He clanked more shots than he made. He probably got that 27 off of fouls because that was the best he could do. The Spurs tapped that ass, bro, in 07 and in 2014. But y'all sit up here and say he didn't have no help though. But we talking about his individual shit though. We're not talking about him winning. We just talk about how he did individually. You don't have to win, but we do need to see your individual stats to prove that you really that dude. And he's shown time and time again he's not that dude. The 2017 and 2018 finals, I'll give him that. The 2017 finals, he was pretty solid. But that 2018 finals, when he got swept, and he faked that injury with the hand. And then y'all could have won game one. And don't try to blame J.R. Smith for that. Everybody always try to blame J.R. Smith for that. If George Hill would have made those free throws and J.R. Smith when he did what he did, the Cleveland Cavaliers could have won that game. You still have 5 extra minutes to get the job done. Y'all was doing pretty good for 4 quarters. You can't play an extra quarter to get it done. LeBron scored, I believe, 0 points in that overtime. 0. Nada. Trash. Let's stop moving the goalposts, people.
Shouldn't be a part of the equation is just asinine. It's not the end all be all. It's not the only thing we look at. Because again, if you look at some of my all-time rankings, I do have certain players who have less rings over players who have more rings. Because again, it's about that nuance. But let's not try to deem it worthless in this conversation.
Get him, Gil.
You're free. I'm here.
What he's saying is actually correct. Like, when did ring culture become a thing, right? When you talk about a team award, something that a structure needs to win, does not boost you in front of individual accomplishments. And when you used Kobe, would frowned upon what LeBron said, I would disagree with that.
Got you.
I would disagree with that because
I remember what I said there.
In real time, Kobe had 3 rings. Y'all wasn't treating him like a 3-ring player. You was treating him like a sidekick.
Nigga, what?
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
See, this is why niggas that ain't never did shit in their career need to stop talking, bro. Certain niggas don't need to have podcasts, bro. Certain niggas don't need a camera forever, bro. Especially niggas that ain't did nothing in their career. Gilbert Arenas, you had a 3-year span where you was probably a top 15 player, bro. A top 15 player at best, bro. Come on, dog. You had a 3-year span where you was a top 15 player, bro. You were mid. You was okay, but you was mid, bro. You really didn't pan out like you was supposed to, bro. Stop it. Stop it. You scored 60 on Kobe and you bragged about that shit your whole life. I scored 60 on Kobe. Nobody cares, bro. Did you win rings? No, shut the fuck up. You ain't do shit. You are probably the worst playoff. You were probably one of the worst playoff performers. You probably have some of the worst playoff performances I've ever seen. When you played against Dwayne Wade in 05, trash. Wade destroyed your ass in that series. That following series, the following year, when you played LeBron and Damon Jones hit that game winner on you because you missed them 2 free throws.
Try.
The year after that, I think you was injured for the most part, so yeah.
Try.
And then the year after that, I think your team didn't make the playoffs, so yeah.
Try.
Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. You didn't. Come on, dog. What are you talking about? Kobe was a sidekick. Kobe was never considered a sidekick. Kobe was considered one of the top 3 players in the league, bruh. It was him, Shaq, and people were still dick riding Michael Jordan, even though he was on the Wizards at this time. Nobody was considering Kobe as the sidekick, bro. Nobody. They considered that man a top 3 player in the league. Even Shaq even admitted that's the top 3 player, bro. So where is this argument coming from? Considering the fact that you was playing in a league But you was on the bench for the most part in 2002. You was on the bench, right? Yeah. You was on the bench, right? Getting the minutes with Golden State, right? 16 minutes a game, right? Yeah. Hush your mouth.
He was considered a sidekick. He was considered a Robin. He was considered the next Pippen. In 2002, with
Who said that? Who said Pippen? Everybody said next Jordan.
3 rings, we were still comparing T-Mac. Who was better in the league? You couldn't convince the NBA down the middle who was better. So
between
T-Mac and Cole.
totally true.
Right? So if you're sitting there with 3 rings and you're still being compared to someone who doesn't have rings, what do you think happened?
Brother, I love T-Mac as much as the next person, but even I have to admit, bro, he ain't got that dog in him like Kobe did, bro. It's levels to this, bro. It's levels to this, bro. They really trying to push the goalpost, bro. They really trying to push the goalpost, bro. They really trying to push the goalposts. Like, listen, my statements for why I say Allen Iverson the GOAT is my own personal statements. But I will never move the goalposts to try to make Allen Iverson seem like he better than the next man. Like, bro, Allen Iverson is the GOAT for personal reasons, bro. It's a personal bias thing with me. But as for Tracy McGrady, who was one of my favorite players growing up, like, he was my second favorite next to goddamn Allen Iverson and Shaq. This is my second favorite best player, but I'm not finna sit up here and act like this nigga was cold. Because once this nigga started getting the injuries, I pushed him out the way for Dwayne Wade. I said, no, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo up next. Tracy McGrady going somewhere. I'm not gonna lie to you, gang. Around like 2007, when I noticed that Tracy McGrady just wasn't like healthy no more and he wasn't that guy no more, it was Dwayne Wade and Carmelo for me. I moved on immediately. Like I said, I love Tracy McGrady. I got Orlando Magic Tracy McGrady black pinstripe throwback in my bedroom right now. That should let you know that that's one of my favorite players. But still, I'm never gonna disrespect Kobe like that, bro. I can't. If we talking like the better player overall, as much as I love Tracy McGrady, it's levels to this shit. It's levels to this shit, bro. I don't know what's going on with my mouse right now. Bro, something going on with my mouse right now, bro. Fuck.
Individual accomplishments. Can you please get rid of Shaq? Right? Because if it was about rings, there was no reason for the fallout with him and Shaq. The fallout was about you only respect the driver of the car. No one respects the passenger of rings. Right? There's no one says it, but the one who's leading the one who's leading the team, that's the gold member right there. That ring counts. The second option ring, that's silver when no one respects it.
Okay, all right. I gotta stop Gilbert Arenas because these are just some horrible takes. First of all, we gotta reject his stupid premise. Saying nobody respects or appreciates the second guy in command is just ridiculous. So was the leader of the team literally the only guy who receives any credit for winning championships? Absolutely not. The second best guy up gets a ton of credit for what he did winning a championship. Who was number one for the Showtime Lakers? Probably Magic the majority of the time. Do we not give credit to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for all the championships he won with Magic? Of course we do. Do we not give credit to Scottie Pippen for his 6 championships? Of course we do. We always mention Scottie among the greatest players in NBA history. But if he didn't have Michael Jordan, he doesn't have 6 championships, and he's not in that conversation. But because Scottie was a big help in winning those rings, he's still in that conversation. We give him his respect. There's also some egregious revisionist history going on here.
Exactly.
Nobody was ever calling Kobe Bryant the next Scottie Pippen. That just didn't happen. I've been seeing tons of channels putting in clips over and over again from 2000 to 2003 where people were constantly calling Kobe the next Michael Jordan. And this is just dishonest. This is the biggest reason why I don't like Gilbert Arenas as an analyst, because he's just extremely dishonest. This is revisionist history. The only reason he was considered a sidekick at times was because Shaq was so damn incredible. But that didn't make Kobe less. It was a Batman and Nightwing situation. He was not a Scottie Pippen Robin. Scottie Pippen was never the 30 points per game scorer that Kobe Bryant was when he was with Shaq. Scottie Pippen was never the closer for the Chicago Bulls like Kobe was. Year in and year out, Kobe Bryant was right there in first or second place for the league leaders in fourth quarter points per game. That is something that Scottie could only dream of, as Michael was the guy who was always taking over late in games. This is just complete and utter nonsense from Arenas, and it's easy to disprove.
Got it.
What happens is when we diminish the likes of the other players, I'll tell you where it really affects people like athletes, because then everybody out there starts easily diminishing the talented players.
Right.
So you got people out there who are fans. When we love fans, we got respect for it.
Got it.
Discounting the greatness of the individual talent, calling people bums.
Bro, the only people that saying that is people that was too young to understand that. The kids that saying, we done with the 90s. Them people, them ignorant ass people who say, we done with the 90s. We done with that. I know I say it too, but I say it as a joke. Unless that shit was really trash. Like them dunk contests, yeah, them shits was trash. I ain't gonna hold you.
Try.
But when people say like, oh, Charles Barkley, we done with the 90s. Charles Barkley was never that good. Charles Barkley could never compare to Draymond Green. What? Charles Barkley would do damage to Draymond Green. That's barbecue chicken for Charles Barkley. When we talking about the Tracy McGrady's, the Allen Iversons, the Steve Nashes, the Brandon Roys, the Carmelo Anthonys. Trying to think who else. The Vince Carters. When we talking about those guys are great within their own right. Did they win a ring? No. But that don't take away from their greatness. Everybody, bro, it's plenty of people walking around with Vince Carter t-shirts, Tracy McGrady, jerseys, Tracy McGrady jerseys, Allen Iverson jerseys still go crazy in the streets, bro. Niggas still will rock an Iverson jersey in a heartbeat. I'm trying to think who else. Chris Webber. People wear Chris Webber jerseys, bro. Everybody, bro. People like what they like, bro. I mean, like I said, only people that's talking crazy about diminishing, the 2000s and 90s players is kids that was born in 2008 and had to grow up in the 2010s and never really saw these guys. They saw these guys when they was on their last legs. They saw Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen on their last legs and shit. They didn't really see the prime. They primes. Nobody didn't see Ray Allen in his prime when he was with Milwaukee and Seattle. Nobody really saw Kevin Garnett when he was the MVP of the league in 2004 when he was with the Timberwolves. Nobody never really saw a lot of these kids today never really saw Paul Pierce after he got stabbed up in a nightclub and went on to take his team all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. Come on, man. It's okay though. It's that generation that says that shit. Y'all really care what the next generation saying? When the generation that watch you know your greatness? That's why I said niggas not happy with their careers, bro. That's why they trying to diminish Kobe career, bro. Niggas trying to diminish Kobe career. Niggas trying to move the goalposts. Niggas are not satisfied with their careers. Gilbert Arenas will never be satisfied with his career. And he the one who fucked it up. Tracy McGrady is not satisfied with his career because he never made it out the first round on his own merit. Dwayne Wade will always be insecure about his career because I don't know. I don't know why Dwayne Wade. You got 3 rings. I don't know what you. I don't know why, but he not happy with his career either. I guess it's because of the statue. I guess he was happy with his career till he got that statue. I think that statue fucked him up. If that's the case, then you need to talk to Pat Riley and them. But then again, them niggas probably not gonna listen. They'll probably take that shit down. Well, since you want to complain about it so much, fine, take it down.
Because they didn't live up to the narrative that the media has set on what defines greatness as greatness.
No disagreement there.
All right, I gotta stop Jason Williams here real quick. The only people who call guys bums because they don't have championship rings are 8-year-olds on Twitter. That is ridiculous. Let's not give that any weight. We are able to recognize that guys were great or guys were talented even if they didn't have a championship ring. For goodness sake, how often do we give our flowers to Allen Iverson?
All the time.
How often do people say that he's one of the top 5 most influential players in NBA history?
All the time, because he the GOAT. He the GOAT. What you mean? He the GOAT. Allen Iverson is the GOAT, my nigga. Stop playing.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Regardless of the fact that he didn't win a championship ring. He only got 1 win in the NBA Finals, but it was so amazing and it was so iconic that we were willing to immortalize him for it. This narrative and this idea that we only give love and respect to guys who have championships is total BS.
It is.
Yes, guys with rings are celebrated more, as they should be, but it doesn't mean that all the other guys are treated as bums and never given their respect.
What defines greatness? Is it the championship?
That's one of the elements.
I mean,
in some cases, yeah.
I don't see anything
Depends on the person.
he said wrong. I didn't see your response, but for me, we have too many talented players that come through this league that are championship worthy. What I mean by that, if you take them off a team that is a championship quality team, replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a
Now, see, I don't have a problem with this at all. I don't have a problem with him saying this at all.
championship? Like, I've never had the opportunity.
Correct.
I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I damn sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs.
You were, when you was in Houston, you were put in that position where you was in Houston. The problem is your body failed you. Now, I can't blame you for that because shit happens, bro. Shit happens, bro. I can't blame you for injuries. I can never blame an athlete for injuries. Like, if shit happens, shit happens. You can't control that. But you did have an opportunity when you was in Houston
To elevate my team to that level. I just never had the chance. So do I get diminished because I never won a championship?
Right.
Alright, so I gotta admit, I actually don't hate what Tracy McGrady said as much as a lot of people do. But there is some parts that are a little bit ridiculous and we'll get into that. But first, let's start off what I don't hate. I really don't mind the fact that he said, I'm not gonna win a championship. He didn't say he would be equally successful to Kobe Bryant, which is what everybody is acting like he said. He said, I'm not gonna win a championship. If Kobe got 3 with Shaq, then yeah, I think that Tracy McGrady would get at least 1. Specifically, in the 2000 to 2001 season, where the Lakers went 15-1 in the NBA playoffs. And I get it, Kobe Bryant was incredible throughout those playoffs. The point I'm making is that Shaq was so dominant, there was an array of incredible shooters on that supporting cast that I do think the combination of Tracy and Shaq in 2001 would have won one championship. And to then get on Tracy and ridicule him and say that he wouldn't have won 3, to me seems silly because that's not what he said. So why should I make an argument against it? The only thing I had a problem with is that Tracy said he never had an opportunity. And I do recognize that overall, Kobe Bryant had a better supporting cast than Tracy McGrady did throughout his career. But there's reasons that McGrady didn't have many opportunities. For example, you had Vince Carter in his prime.
No, we can't use Toronto. You cannot use Toronto. You cannot use Toronto. Because there were many instances that there's a reason why he left. I don't get why Toronto, I don't know why people keep trying to make this narrative that Tracy McGrady should have stayed in Toronto because him and Vince Carter could have did something. Do y'all not understand that Tracy McGrady almost got traded like 3 times when he was in Toronto? So you don't think the 4th time it would have went through and he would have got traded anyway? Like, I really want y'all to look back and understand this, right? When Tracy McGrady before Tracy McGrady even stepped foot on the floor, the Bulls was trying to trade Scottie Pippen for Tracy McGrady. I really want y'all to think about that. Before he even stepped on the floor, before he even was able to put a jersey on, he was about to get traded to Chicago for Scottie Pippen because the Bulls wanted to rebuild. They said, we're going to keep Jordan, but we want to rebuild. But we want to make sure we got our next guy. Jordan rescinded that shit immediately. Jordan said, nigga, if you don't stop and leave Scottie alone. That's what Jordan did. Do y'all realize that? Do y'all realize that? Of course you don't. Then there was another instance where they was going to trade Tracy McGrady to the Lakers. Put him up there with Kobe and Shaq. So there was an opportunity, but something fell through and they didn't go through with it. Then there was a 3rd time where they was going to just straight up trade Tracy McGrady for Larry Hughes and send him to Philadelphia to go play with Allen Iverson. For some odd reason, that fell through. The Toronto Raptors never saw anything in Tracy McGrady. They just drafted him just so they could like hype him up and say, yeah, this is the next big thing right here, but we don't want him. I really want y'all to think about that. They said, we don't want him. We got this Vince Carter kid. He way more polished. He way more ready to go. We ain't trying to teach no high school kid how to play professional basketball. We ain't got time for that. So if he would have stayed in Toronto, would Tracy McGrady really have been Tracy McGrady? Or would he have just got traded to a weak ass team and then he would have been Tracy McGrady there? I rest my case.
We had a good thing, you stupid son of a bitch. You just had to be the man.
You had to go to Orlando. You had to make more money. You had the setup to be a year in and year out contender in the Eastern Conference.
They weren't going to play him though. That's the thing you keep failing. Nobody, you moving the goalposts. See, this is moving the goalposts right here. You're not really taking in all the facts. You're just moving the goalposts to fit your narrative. The real life scenario is they would have still traded this man even if he did resign with them. They really didn't want him back. Or they would have made an effort to keep him. They never made an effort to keep him. And he didn't want to go back. They weren't playing him. They weren't giving him any minutes. They put him on the back burner for Vince. They didn't see anything in him other as trade bait. Y'all pushing the narrative, bro.
The weaker conference at the time. You could have been going to the finals year after year, as Vinsanity and T-Mac would have been one of the greatest duos we've ever seen. But you left that because you had to be the man. He didn't have a tremendous amount of support in Orlando, but again, he chose to sign there. And him speaking so confidently about winning a championship is pretty rich, coming from a player who couldn't make it out of the first round for like 7 straight seasons.
To be fair on that Orlando Magic bit, they did have Tim Duncan in the bag. I'm pretty sure they said, hey, you know we got Tim Duncan, right? Yeah, we got Tim Duncan about to come over here. So come on over here to Orlando, man. We trying to build something. Think about it. Grant Hill, Tim Duncan. You want me to be the star? Come on, dog. Y'all keep pushing. There it is, bro. Y'all try to move the goalposts and stop looking at the facts, bro.
I get you don't have the most talented supporting cast, but you can't make it out of the first round one time? I still remember that interview with Stephen A. Smith way long ago, when he was on the verge of yet another Game 7.
You don't consider yourself an underdog this year, do you?
I don't consider myself an underdog, not at all.
So if you don't
if I don't make it out of the first round this year, it'll be a disappointment on my part.
When you say on your part, what do you mean by that?
Meaning, I feel that this is my team. How far we go is riding on my shoulders. It's on me. If we don't get out of the first round, it's on me.
Wait a minute.
If we don't get out of the first round this year, it's on me.
Now, he's making it seem like it's on everybody but him. And then, when you were on the Houston Rockets, and you were playing alongside of Ron Artest and Yao Ming and Shane Battier and a whole bunch of guys that were capable of winning, you were getting injured year in and year out. And that's unfortunate, and that sucks. But being healthy when it all matters is part of winning a championship. Nobody else should be taking the blame for that. So I love T-Mac, and I do wish he would have had more talent around him throughout the vast majority of his career. But some of these comments are just flat out wild and are completely neglecting his own responsibilities. The last thing I want to say about this panel is that it's really hilarious that they're having a conversation about ring culture with 3 guys who never won a championship ring. What the hell do you think they're gonna say? Of course they're justifying not having a ring and saying that they should still be in that conversation because they're coping. That's what happens when you're a guy who wanted to win but couldn't win. That's how it works. It's like asking a bunch of high school dropouts about the value of having a college education. What do you think they're gonna say? So honestly, I would have appreciated it if ESPN and all of their wisdom would have just got one guy on this panel who did in fact win some championship rings, just to add a little bit of perspective. Alright, so now I'm towards the end of the video and I'm seeing that this reaction and all my thoughts is getting quite long. I wanted to react to what Dwayne Wade said, but I think I'll just do that in a part 2. So guys, I had a lot of thoughts. Clearly I got worked up about this. But I really just hate the fact that there's an attack on winning. Winning has always been the most important thing on how we view the greats, because it's the most valuable thing in the entire sport. And for someone like LeBron James to say, I don't know what started all this, dude, it's been this way forever. Why do you think Bill Russell was the guy winning MVP year in and year out, even though Wilt Chamberlain was averaging 40 to 50 points per game? Because the guys they were competing against in the league at that time, who were the voters, knew what style and what focus was leading to winning basketball. They knew which player was winning championships. That's what mattered even in the 1960s. And up until this point, that has always been the most valuable thing. But now, all of a sudden, a bunch of guys want to shake up the conventional way of thinking, and honestly, I think it's because it benefits them. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because this is a really loaded topic. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm just saying though, I personally believe, like, no, god damn it, stop, no. See, hard-headed ass. hard-headed ass computer. Stop. So yeah, man, that's all I really wanted to say, man. I don't think I agree. I think it is about pushing the narrative because, like I said, these dudes aren't happy with how their careers went. Nobody said. That's why I said LeBron James just keeps pushing the goalposts because he's not satisfied with his career. You have all these accomplishments to your name, and you are still not satisfied with how your career is going. That's sad. That's tragic. You know what I'm saying? You know, Kobe realized, hey man, I've been in the game for too long, dog. My body breaking down. It ain't no purpose for me to continue. We ain't winning no championship. I'm just gonna go out my way. Like LeBron need to retire, bro. It's time, bro. It's time to put it up, bro. Your draft class has been put in the Hall of Fame. The draft class after you is starting to get their Hall of Fame jackets. Come on, dog. It's time to wrap it up, man. You had a good career. A great career. Wrap it up. These niggas so unsatisfied with their careers. And I know somebody gonna be in the comment section like, what's so wrong with pushing yourself to be even greater? There's nothing left to prove. That's the point I'm trying to make. There's nothing left to prove. For LeBron, there's nothing left to prove. You have enough championships. You have 4 championships. You have the most points in NBA history. What more are you trying to get? Like now you being greedy. Like I said, if that Achilles pop, you know it's over. You know it's over. That Achilles pop happened, LeBron gonna face reality. And reality gonna set in. It's gonna say, hey, time to go. Because either LeBron gonna leave, either LeBron gonna retire, or the league gonna force him to retire. One way or the other. They gonna get him the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody finna hold on to no 40-year-old dude. Ain't nobody finna hold on to no 40-year-old dude. This man is 40, bro. It's time to wrap it up, dog. If you unsatisfied with your career, go play in the Big 3, bro. Go play the Big 3. Ice Cube Big 3 is there for a reason, bro. You can go be the GOAT over there, bro. I guarantee you, everybody say you the greatest player of all time if you go play the Big 3, bro. Go support Ice Cube. Go support black people, bro. Quit acting like you support black people, but they don't never do nothing. Come on, bro. I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. These dudes moving the goalposts because they not happy about their career. It's sad. It's really sad. But it is what it is, man. You know, that's crazy. You know what's crazy? You don't hear Allen Iverson being you don't never hear somebody like Allen Iverson being this type of way about his career. Allen Iverson has always been humble about his career. Even though he got kicked out the league unceremoniously, but that's what I mean though. They either gonna get with the program or they gonna force you out. That's what I mean. Allen Iverson didn't want to play the game right. Didn't want to play the game how they wanted him to play it. They kicked him out. But he been humble ever since. He don't care. He happy with his career. He's like, man, I made it to the finals. I won an MVP. I did everything. I did as much as I could, man. And if my career didn't go as much as I planned, I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm just happy that I was even able to do it. But these other dudes, on the other hand, man, if I had Shaq, I would have won some rings. Come on, bro. You know, Pau Gasol, he should have never been Finals MVP. Pau Gasol should have been Finals MVP and not Kobe. Where is this coming from? Niggas are unsatisfied with their careers. And it shows. But hey, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, bye.